All right, y'all. This is my first time going live. I should probably mute my TV. So look, it is a whole lot of motherfucking haterade going on in the Black community. This page is not monetized. I ain't trying for it to be monetized. So I ain't trying to even excuse my language. So get over it. Because that's me. That's how I talk all the time. This is not for show. All right? And I am multitasking, so y'all gonna have to excuse me. Entrepreneurship is it, but it means working after hours sometimes. So yeah. But what I want to talk about is all this haterade going on in the Black community against our own people. All right. So one of these people that I'm talking about, I'll go back to after I mention these first two. So first, Bill Cosby. All right. Bill Cosby should have never been in jail in the first goddamn place. All right. Ever. Should not have been, but he was. All right. And the conviction was overturned because of the bullshit that they pulled to put him in there in the first place. And he's out. And the haters come out the woodworks. So let me do my best to woosah myself so that I don't just get my video completely thrown off of YouTube altogether. But let me start by saying that the instances that all of these allegations come from against Bill were not in a setting where they were coming to his house and maybe it was a misunderstanding on what was going on. No, these women were going to hotel rooms in the middle of the night. These women were going to the Playboy Mansion. This is in the 60s and 70s when it's all sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So there was no misunderstanding when they got there as to what the hell was going on. It only became an issue when this whole Me Too movement started. I did a cover on the Billionaire song, and one of the verses in the song, I'm like, damn. I said, Oprah and her goon, Gail, you know what I mean? They going after Bill Cosby. Gail going after Kobe after he died. But when her boy that she's got several pictures with, all buddy hugged up with Weinstein, gets Me Too'd, she's silent. Her and her girlfriend. So it's like, why are we... It just needs to stop altogether. But if it's going to happen, leave it to the white people. Let the white people try to bring us down. It shouldn't be us trying to bring us down. It shouldn't be us helping them to bring us down. He should have never been in there in the first place. And then when COVID hit, they were letting people out to stop the spread within the prisons. He should have been in front of that line. He's old. He's sick. But because he wouldn't go along with their charade and admit to some shit that he wouldn't do, they let him sit in there. He done survived COVID and every damn thing. And the haters is mad that he's out. Who we really need to be mad at in that situation is all these women who got up on that stand and boldface blatantly lied on this man's name and drug him through the mud. And we need to discuss what their actions have really done. All right? Because I might be getting ready to go in. So I don't want my kids to hear me saying some of these words. All right. But, all right, we need to discuss what this has really done. All right. There are women in this world that are not in this limelight, that don't live this Hollywood life, that have been violated in real life. From the age of 8 to 12, I was molested and raped twice by a family member. And because of the threats that were made to me by that person and the shit that was said that would happen to me or my family, I kept that shit in for years. All right. It wasn't until I was 18 that I finally made an outcry, and then I was called a lie. So I know what it's like to go through something as detrimental as that, and then you come forward and somebody calls you a liar. I know what that feels like. What these women have done is made a mockery of something that actually happens to real women. They've made a mockery of it. So now women that are actually going through this and actually experiencing shit like this are less likely to come forward. And then people who are on the other end of it, who women are coming to them and saying, hey, this happened to me, they're less likely to believe it, because we just watched a whole fucking charade played out in the public light. They televised the shit. They drugged this man's name through the mud for a bunch of women that got up there and boldface lied. This wasn't a situation like Charlemagne the God where these women were unknowingly being drugged and taken advantage of. No, they knew. He said, here, take this, and they took it. So how is it now legal for them to come back and cry rape? How is it legal for them to put people on the stand that weren't even originally supposed to be on there? One of the only times Bill even spoke out in that whole court process is when one of those women got up there and he was like, and I don't even know her. And they try to say because he's old and he don't. No, that's just some random woman that wanted to join the Me Too movement and get her time in the spotlight, that they just let her up on the stand and tell some bold-faced lies, just like a lot of the rest of them women. The only person that man owes an apology to is his wife. That's it. That's motherfucking all. The rest of y'all need to sit down somewhere. For real, for real. He had no business being in there in the first place, and I'm glad he's out. The other person that's in a situation like that, I'm going to come back to that one because there's a lot that I need to go into with that one. This next one, I'm just going to touch on it real quick, and I'm going to let it go. But Sha'Carri Richardson, all right? I am a Dallas native, whoop, whoop, triple D, all right? So, it came out today, I believe. All right, because when I got on my Facebook page today, it was littered. Like every post was, she tests positive, she tests positive, she tests positive, and all the comments were, oh my God, she's stupid, she fucked off a lifetime opportunity. How stupid could she be? Y'all, it's weed. Weed. She did not test positive for performance enhancing drugs. She tested positive for marijuana. Who knew? All right. This girl has been through a lot. A lot. And in spite of it all, she made it to the motherfucking Olympics. You go, girl. I'm proud of you. I don't care what the rest of these haters talking about. Sha'Carri, I'm proud of you. You did that. You did that. You are the fastest woman in America. And while you didn't get your opportunity this time to prove that you're the fastest woman in the world, all right, show your ass in them relays. And then when the Olympics come back in 4, make sure you're there. All right. So shout out to Sha'Carri Richardson. All right. But the teardown behind this information is bogus as fuck. Period. She's been through a lot. All right. A lot, a lot. She was raised by her grandmother. She was just starting to rebuild now that she's grown and able to analyze situations in more of a grown-up light versus as a child and just feeling like she probably felt abandoned, and probably rightfully so. But I think with her understanding as a grown-up that maybe her mother had some issues, that it was best for everybody involved that she be raised by her grandmother. That takes love, because she could have dragged that girl through hell. So once the girl got grown, she starts building a relationship with her mother. And then right after one of these qualifying races, a reporter rudely asked her how she was dealing and coping with the death of her mother. She didn't even know her mom was dead yet. My mom died when I was 7. And I told y'all what was happening to me from the age of 8 to 12. Before I was 18, I had 3 kids. So that lets you know that the downward spiral that my life took after my mom died. All right. This girl smoked a blunt after she found out her mama died, and now they calling her the stupidest person on the planet. The fuck? She didn't owe y'all that gold medal. That was her own personal accomplishment, not yours. She don't owe you that. As far as I'm concerned, like I said in my shout out to her, you already proved you the fastest woman in America. And you did it with your hair, your lashes, and your nails, darling. And I couldn't be more proud. So hold your head high and keep letting that melanin drip, darling, because you're going to be just fine. Because a lot of these people with a lot to say is sitting on their couches in their Section 8 apartments, collecting welfare and smoking weed. And they have the audacity to dare come for you. And they fat ass can't run up a flight of stairs if it would save their life. So shout out to Sha'Carri and fuck the haters. All right. Now for the one that I'm coming back to before I close my video out is Mr. R. Kelly. All right. I also don't feel like R. Kelly should be in there. And this is coming from somebody who, like I said, was molested and raped. So I can, I could see the other side of it, how people would sympathize or empathize with the supposed victims. But in this case, I'm siding with Mr. Robert Kelly. I am. Because he's been taken advantage of. The man can't read or write. His whole everything depends on somebody else to do something for him. Read this. Make it make sense. He's relying on other people to make shit make sense. So he's already been taken advantage of. All right. Then he got this thing for young girls, and it's not a secret. Not a secret. Yet he was constantly granted access to young girls. These enabling ass people around him. Let's start there. Then we need to talk about these girls' parents. Last I checked, benefiting financially from the sexual exploitation of a minor is human trafficking. Financially benefiting from the sexual exploitation of a minor is human trafficking. These girls' parents knew they was going to R. Kelly house. R. Kelly's camp that he had behind him at the time was signing off on money for these girls' parents. This man, whether he knew it or not, signed off on it, said, yeah, go ahead and do that, was paying bills and mortgages. These people upgraded their whole lifestyle behind the money that he was providing simply to have access to their daughters. Let them come over here on weekends. Let them spend spring break with me. Let them go on trips with me. Let them come live with me. I got you. Whatever you need, I got you. But when the money ran out, now all of a sudden it's a problem. So I think R. Kelly should be out. And I feel like if we're going to bring somebody up on some motherfucking charges, it need to be these girls' parents, and they need to be brought up on human motherfucking trafficking charges because they benefited financially from the sexual exploitation of their own daughters. Period. When R. Kelly went back to jail, there was a whole cancel R. Kelly movement. There's songs right now that R. Kelly did the vocals on where they will play the rest of the song but won't play his part. He has a problem. And his main problem is the people that he chose to surround himself with were taking advantage of him. And it sucks. So that's my take on all of the issues. Like I said, I just really needed to get it off of my fucking chest because like the hate is real behind like Bill and Sha'Carri. My timeline is like flooded right now and it's ridiculous. Like everybody is hating. And just so the haters know, Bill can't be retried. He's a free man and he will remain so for the remainder of his life. He cannot be brought back up on those charges again. And all them old motherfuckers is way past the statute of limitations at this point anyways. With they partying asses. Janice Dickerson, really? So as y'all can see, I just needed to get some shit off my chest because that shit really had me in my fucking feelings. I'm celebrating Bill getting out and motherfuckers really came for me. Talking about I'm a rapist enabler. The fuck? Me? I'll kill a motherfucker. He didn't do that. Them hoes went to a motherfucking hotel in the middle of the night, went to the motherfucking Playboy mansion, popping pills and snorting coke, got their motherfucking back beat in, and couldn't explain that shit to their boyfriends and husbands. Period. He said, here, take this, and they took it. If we want to talk about a sexual predator, let's talk about Charlemagne. This sick fuck. Once he got his charges reduced, went on a whole interview spree telling everybody, yeah, that's what I do. That's my thing. I drug them bitches and I fuck them down. The fuck? That's a sexual predator, not Bill. These little girls that Charlemagne was fucking on was going to house parties and shit. They not expecting to go there for all of that. These promiscuous ladies of the night that was dipping in the hotel rooms and Playboy mansions all in the middle of the night. They got what they went there for. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So, like I said, this is my first line. I really just wanted to address all the black on black hate going on. Because the shit is unreal and the shit needs to stop. Because it's outright coonish of you motherfuckers to kick a black man or woman while they are down. And that's all I wanted to say.